We did a lot of things for no reason.
We've
at TFCon.
done- Well,
Posters. Yeah.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the Autopod Decepticast, your bi-weekly podcast delivering an episode-by-episode breakdown of the Beast Wars series. That's Transformers Beast Wars. In case you thought it was some other Beast Wars series, today is our episode number 225.
4.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a quick consultation with the.
Okay, I'm pretty sure
yeah,
I'm right.
you're like Ryan is always right about this.
Not always.
Well, we never double check him, actually. So let's see. Today is April the 6th that we're recording on. And, 224, Chain of Command, I believe, is the episode that we're doing today.
Yeah, I said 224. You said 225.
And Ryan,
You just
is right.
You said it so, fucking, condescendingly.
It's just that I thought I made a point.
The next one I just saw his notes is 217.
that I double checked this as I was putting the script together, and I guess I failed.
That's fine.
This is your host, Aaron, and with me are the hip hip hop you don't stop and the bang bang boogie to my very own rhythm of the boogie, the beat. Sugar Hill Gang took the world by storm with Rapper's Delight in 1979, and there's nothing I can say about that a million other YouTube rap historians haven't already said. However, a little cross the worlds thing, in the 2007 live-action Transformers movie, the Sugar Hill Gang song Apache is featured during a scene where the Autobots arrive on Earth and interact with humans for the first time.
I'm Caleb.
I'm Ryan. Sometimes I go over to my friend's house to eat, and the food just ain't no good.
Does it taste like wood?
It is weird in that song is so long, but it just starts talking about food all of a sudden.
It's a 15-minute long rap song. The song that I believe gets credit for coining the word hip-hop. By the way, that fact I gave you above about Sugar Hill Gang being in the Transformers movie, that's wrong.
What?
Yeah. I was just in trying to craft the intro. I consulted ChatGPT and I asked it, is there any connection between the Sugar Hill Gang and the Transformers? And ChatGPT came up with, yes, there is a connection between Sugar Hill Gang and the Transformers. In the 2007 live-action movie, a song by the Sugar Hill Gang called Apache is featured in a scene where the Autobots arrive on Earth and interact with humans for the first time. The song adds to the nostalgic and upbeat tone of the scene. So I Googled to try and find that scene, and I couldn't find it. And then I went to the Wikipedia page for the soundtrack, and I noticed that song wasn't on the soundtrack to the movie. And the Wikipedia page also listed other songs in the film that just aren't on the official soundtrack. So I typed into GPT, please provide a source for this fact. And GPT came back with, I apologize for the confusion earlier. There seems to have been an error in my response.
Oh, no.
Apache by the Sugar Hill Gang is not featured in the 2007 live-action movie. There doesn't appear to be a direct connection between the Sugar Hill Gang and the Transformers franchise. The Sugar Hill Gang is a hip-hop group known for their hit Rapper's Delight, while Transformers is a popular franchise featuring sentient robots that you can transform into vehicles and other objects. Thank you for your understanding. Like, it just made up a thing.
Wow.
And then you called it out on
And
it.
then it was
And
like,
then it felt bad about it.
shit.
Oh, I'm sure it felt really bad.
I apologize.
Thank you for understanding.
My bad. Yeah.
Let's see. Well, that's we just got a little preview waiting in the wings over here, joining us on today's very episode. The always impressively codpieced Alphamagnus. Welcome to the program.
Greetings. Yeah, I'm here. I'm back. Much to one person's dismay.
Don't have that guy on anymore.
I can't remember. Is that a thing?
Yeah, there was some review that was like, don't any guest but that guy.
Why are you building up so much hate in our audience?
It's what I do. You gotta have your detractors.
Yeah, if it's, I'll tell you this: great art. Is it great art if it doesn't inspire hate?
People don't throw soup at bad art.
That's right.
Yeah, but
That's right.
hang on a minute.
Hang on a minute.
Trying to figure this out.
I didn't mean
That
to
was a
grind this
that
to
was
a halt.
Protest. Okay.
You don't see anybody gluing their hands to Thomas Kincaid paintings.
This is too
I heard he
highbrow
paints
for
with
me.
light. My
There you go. He knows.
every art school teacher says that.
Mhm.
He paints with light.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, that's exactly the look.
The look,
I
the
wish-
glassy-eyed look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I just am trying to get through this class today. I'm just trying to get on, get a grade. All right.
Thomas Kincaid, is he a photographer?
No, he was a painter
Oh.
that painted he painted these landscapes that were kind of had a glowy aspect to them, and the religious community latched onto them hardcore.
Everything was average with the paintings. Like
Yeah.
it just looked like a painting you'd see anywhere. But if you saw a street light or like a candle, it actually looked like it was lit up. But he just painted it with the correct
Yeah.
things and had
Figured
all
out
the correct
luminosity.
He found a thing.
in a
He found a
painting
thing, and then
form.
he was kind of like how people latched on like precious moments kind of stuff.
Oh my
and,
God! My mother drug us to that chapel every year.
Yeah, and so
Precious Moments Chapel's in Missouri, by the way, for those who don't know.
I haven't been there in a long time.
It's
I would
bananas.
love to trip and go there.
I used
if it still exists.
I used to go. I'm sure it does. I used to go there on the way to visit Big Brutus, which is an abandoned strip mining crane out in Kansas.
We talked about this on like one of our first episodes.
Oh really? Yeah.
You,
Anyway.
you gotta love Boomer Funko Pops.
Yeah.
Funko should do a Precious Moments crossover.
Weird.
I think Precious
untapped
Moments
market.
sells its own
Precious
merch.
I know they do, but not Funko style.
I would prefer
Don't.
that. I would prefer that nobody buys anything related to Precious Moments.
Yeah, it's such
I had an idea.
garbage.
I had an idea for something years ago, and I was going to call it Vicious Moments.
Okay.
Where it was like the little kid is pushing the other one down the well.
Like garbage. It's
yeah,
like
you're doing the garbage.
yeah.
like the
Pail
garbage
Kids
pail
stuff.
kids.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
that's
someone
a pretty
actually,
great idea.
Someone actually eventually did it.
Oh.
I can't remember what they called them, but
They
it's
stole
that's
your
nice.
idea.
no, it's just like an Etsy store that makes custom ones. They take the original ones and then make them horrific, and they're
Nice.
great.
Nice.
So
Vicious.
I'm fine with it.
Get that
I'm
for your
cool with
mom.
that.
It's the goof.
Yeah, she'll love it.
It's the
Birthday's coming
goofus. It's the goofus to their gallant.
Mhm.
It's
We're just
the-
bringing all the old.
I'm
shit
trying.
no
That's
one
what we
knows
do
about.
here. That's what we do here.
Is it the Amos to their Andy? No, bad reference. What's going on? You live in an exennial world, don't you?
Yes, I live in both worlds, the light and the dark.
I ripped that off from, I think, your Instagram. What's happening? Alphamagnus Creations. What's the deal? What's the story? You review any good toys lately?
Yeah. Not as many Transformers recently. I've kind of honed that collection down. If you can see, I do have some of my big boys up here. I did back the Omega Prime, because I say this on every podcast now, because Omega Prime was a thing in 2001 when I made Alphamagnus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is
So
that
I just took the Omega and made it Alpha. And I took the Prime and made it
Yes.
Magnus.
Yeah, like vicious.
I
moments.
have at one point I had 6 copies of that figure.
Oh wow.
And now you'll have
Yeah.
7.
Well, no, I got rid of most of them because they were worth a lot of more money than I was expecting. So I was like, oh, here you go.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, but I had let's see, I had one in Omega Prime mode, both bot modes, both alt modes, and then even a smaller Prime for his regular mode. I don't know if you're familiar with that show, but
Fuck no.
it's
I'm purely Gen X.
bonkers.
I'm not an Xennial.
It's bonkers that
I am. I know what it looks like. I'm not like that's Car Robots, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I didn't watch it.
Yeah. So just hey, thanks for the segue. It's just like me. I had a analog adulthood or analog childhood and a digital adulthood. That's what the Zennial thing is. A lot of you guys are probably close to that, but you guys are what?
Yeah,
a
I think
couple years older
technically
than me?
we are on like
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
cusp.
I literally got internet my senior year of high school. So there you go.
Yeah. So it's close enough. But that's the same thing with this was that they're like, hey, we got a bunch of G1ers that hated that Beast show, but we don't want to lose those kids, so we're gonna put some Beasts in here. They'll be the bad guys, and then all the Autobots, they'll be all robots. So it is the Zennial of Transformers.
Was the Megatron the one that turned into a dragon and had like 18 alternate modes?
Correct. Yeah,
Okay, I have that. I've got that in storage.
The hand mode is my favorite.
It's such a
Literally just a big hand.
cop-out. Like, that's a real reach. Almost a pun, but like it's such a stupid.
Well,
old
he
mode.
had like 10 modes, and then they're like, we're going to give him 3 more for the Galvatron.
He's like a dragon, a jet, a car, another kind of dragon.
A griffin. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. I've watched some of your reviews. How'd you feel about that G.I. Joe? Here's your challenge. Give us your 5-word take on the thing that I'm going to talk to you about. And then our listener can decide if your review is intellectual enough for them. G.I. Joe Classified Metalhead.
Oh, crap. I just did that one.
I know. It should be top of mind.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
crap.
good,
I just did that one. That's too many.
No. Let's see, 5 words.
Or whatever. Give or take.
So many
Great
parameters.
sculpt. Really shitty joints.
There you go.
Good
Beautiful.
job. Transformers Rise of the Beasts Optimus Primal mask.
Fun gimmick. Needed more work.
How about HasLab Deathsaurus? Now I'm keeping it Transformers.
Yeah. Absolutely perfect,
Ooh.
except for bass.
He's doing good.
All
He's
right.
good at this.
Yeah.
WWE Superstars Hulk Hogan. Now back to different world.
Which is it the most recent? One?
Probably in your
Yes.
most recent 20. I'll say yes.
Oh, great. Another Hulk Hogan.
Does it come with public apology for using the N-word?
No, it does come with a 14-second sex tape, in which he asks for a sub afterwards, though. You ever see that?
Oh,
Yeah.
of course.
Oh, man, I'm hungry too.
You had me at Hulk Hogan's sex tape.
I mean, he almost bankrupt. He did bankrupt some companies.
That was going to be my follow-up question. Does it come with a $115 million check from winning a case against Gawker?
Yeah.
I'm kind of two minds about that because I don't like Hulk Hogan a lot as a person, but Gawker is also shitty. And then also the guy that funded Hulk Hogan to win that case, Peter Thiel, is a complete piece of garbage. Although he had a good reason to have beef with Gawker. I think they outed him for being gay. But that guy, Peter Thiel, has his dirty hands in like all conservative politics nowadays.
Yep.
And he's a piece of shit.
Hulk Hogan does have a really weird track record on just being an idiot, but that one was one of the times where it's like, yeah, they shouldn't have leaked that. They did. It wasn't just like a leak that appeared on the internet. It was like, we're a large publication. Here's his tiny wiener. Like, what? What is the what?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Well, yeah, what's the public interest there?
Yeah, but my absolute favorite Hulk Hogan thing is when he was not a good thing, but when Betty White died, he's like, yeah, dude, it's because she got the jab, brother. She got that vaccine. It's not because she was 99 years old.
I wasn't up on.
I didn't know that.
Anti-vax conspiracies.
He's
Like, I don't care if someone's like 50 years old, sure you can say that, but like 99, I don't think that's
say
why
it,
it
but-
happened. Yeah.
he's
Hear about Methuselah, dude? He got the jab.
he's a moron. The weirdest I saw, he was like there was a video where he was hanging out with another wrestler and his daughter, and they're shooting like some video, and he just kind of all of a sudden just pulls his wiener out and starts flopping it around. Have you seen that one? All right, I gotta Google this. I gotta make sure I didn't dream this.
Check check
so-
Gawker Media and see if they've got the film.
So
on
there
that.
was a guy I worked with, and he's like, dude, because he knew that I liked the wrestling and stuff, and he goes like, hey, have you ever seen this video? And he's like, what? I'm like, he's like, it was my, like, I think it was his cousin was like in Florida visiting, and all of a sudden he ran into Hulk Hogan and just wanted him to, say hey or something. Hulk Hogan just started being a jerk, which, I mean, he's sitting down eating, leave him alone. It's not like he was like at a booth signing stuff and he was a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty good at the booths. But anyway, he just walked up and he just goes like, hey, can you do that? And he goes like, yeah, I ain't getting you nothing, brother. I'm going to do this. And then he just starts making fun of him and telling him how like he was banging his mom and all he wants to order is Shirley Temples. It's like the weirdest video I've ever made.
That's some.
Last time I had a Shirley Temples, dude, I was banging your mom.
Strange insult.
He's a weird guy. All right, I did find the video. I just sent it to you guys. It really
Great.
happened. Okay, good.
Can't wait.
Actually, that's one of the cosplays I wanted to do. The Mega Powers and have like half of my face Randy Savage and half of it Hulk Hogan. Then I could do the turn left and right.
I love it. I love it.
You're the hardest working
It
man
is.
in this creative world.
I love it.
All
His
those
cosplay is amazing.
ideas.
That's right, dude. Oh yeah. Just keep doing that the whole time.
Their
With
their
the cream on the
mannerisms
top.
are very similar.
Yeah.
Like, and the impression is pretty close too.
Oh, yeah.
You just kind of change the tonality of
Uh-huh.
timbre a little bit. Yeah.
Mhm.
Toys. What's going on? Toy world. I feel like you've been talking about a toy excursion for a long time.
Yep. So that time is coming. Hopefully by TFCon Toronto, I'll be able to put the Kickstarter up. That was my initial blast that I wanted to get a whole bunch of Transformers fans for. It is Transformers adjacent, but I will be making some action figures of lesser used characters in the Transformers world, but not actually Transformers, if that makes any sense.
You mean third party? Your character is going to be called Spunk instead of Spike.
maybe. But it's nothing.
Spunk and
it's nothing.
Carl.
It's literally nothing that Hasbro's gonna do. So, but should be interesting. I have to register the toy name and all the toy company name and all that stuff and get a website before I can make that launch. But it is coming. So if you got a couple shekels to throw at me in June-ish, do that, because then I won't have to become a corporate slave anymore, and I can make goofy stuff for y'all.
Describe the concept real quick in the line.
Put it as simply as the Masters of the Universe style figures, but using characters from different universes, starting with Transformers, because I'm more equipped on that. So, like, if you wanted a Spike Wiki figure, that would be another one that I could probably do. But he's going to be like super bulked out like He-Man. So imagine if they gave us human characters back in the 80s for
Right.
Transformers or any other property like
But they're
that.
on steroids or a good diet.
They are yoked.
Today we're doing Beast Wars Chain of Command. Why are you on this episode with us?
This was the episode that locked me into Beast Wars. So I started watching because big Transformers fan as a kid. My cousin and I probably burnt through 2 VHS of the movie, which shows you, like that movie was pretty much heavy metal light. Like it's a formative thing. And, but I got out of it. I just was like, at some point it just died off. I started moving on. I think the Ninja Turtles, I think that would be the next thing. I never really had any of the toys from Transformers because they were way more expensive than like a He-Man guy or whatever. I could get at Big Lots. Single mother in the 80s, latchkey kid, like you don't have any money for that. So then when Transformers was coming around, and it's like I'm pseudo adult, I have literally nothing to pay for. I'm in high school. Let's see, when did this come out?
96.
6? Yeah, so I would have been 9th grade for me. So I go and I'm like, oh, I'll check this Beast Wars out. First couple episodes, I'm like, all right, I get it, they're beasts. This is okay. whatever. They land on the planet. And this episode was the one where it was like, this isn't just like a regular show for me. It put in concepts that they sprinkled a little bit of
there is a
mystique
new
in this
layer
episode.
that feels
It
brings some
goes
depth
from
to it for sure.
It goes from, I made a bomb, let me go do this, then they end the episode. This one kind of ends and you're like, they didn't really resolve anything. So this is the one that kind of hooked me into the show. It also foreshadows a whole bunch of stuff in some of the other episodes that I've requested as well. So
I wasn't okay.
Yeah.
It's all new. It's all every single episode I watch is a brand new experience.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Definitely.
what we're in for
enjoying
here. Well, I'm glad you're here to go through it with us. Let me ask a question to the fellas here, and this is technically our post TFCon episode.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about TFCon at all?
Well, sure. I guess we should.
I don't. I hate to. I mean, as far as I know, Alphamagnus wasn't there. Unless he was so caused up that I just never saw him. And he never said hi.
Dude, you totally hung out with him at the bar on Saturday night.
I was cosplaying as a androgynous blue hair girl with half my head shaved.
That's who it was.
Oh, I see.
Is it all coming back to you now, Aaron?
Yeah, I fucked
But,
you.
It happened.
Good Lord. Yeah, so we went to TFCon LA.
When in Los Angeles.
Yeah, TFCon LA. Let's see what happened. What did we do?
We did that panel with Mike Seibert.
Yeah, we got to meet and
The podcast.
befriend listeners. Chandler,
Yes.
Matt, Chris.
I met,
Hey guys,
I met.
how are y'all doing?
Yeah, I met Matt and Chris at the bar. What was interesting is when I started talking, they expected me to sound like you.
Oh, that's right.
And you to sound like me. They got our voices switched, or at least Matt did. I don't know about Chris, but anyway, met them and hung out with them a lot, and that was a good time. Good guys.
I will say this. Before you guys got better mics, it was hard to tell the two of you apart. But now it's way easier. Yeah.
Now we got to
I
re-record
listened-
the first 80 episodes.
Shut up.
Well, it's like the first 12, I think. I listened to one of the earlier ones because I wanted to. There was a specific spot I can't remember what it was for, but and I was like, "Hold it, you guys sound way better now. Like you sound different. Like those mics
That's
could
the
only
point.
pick up."
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah.
The panel. We got to hang out with
The podcaster
longtime
roundtable.
friends. Seibert, of course. Jason, Johnny Utah, had Caipirinhas. That's how
So
say it,
you
right?
keep mentioning the panel, but don't talk about it, and then
Well,
you go to
it's
the
a good transition to
the-
the podcasters panel. Mike hosted. No, I mean I was actually blown away by how good it was, and which is kind of an insult. It's like your expectations were so low.
I say this all the time, but you feel like you don't think people care about. I think what I said was like you seem to perpetually undervalue yourself.
Well, yeah, the concept was there's a row of podcasters, and the audience is just going to ask us questions. And my false insight was that nobody wants to ask us questions. We don't have any, like, we're not voice actors or writers. Like, what the fuck do these people care of us? I was wrong.
Yeah, it was
Whether it was incentivized by the stuff we were giving away or just the pure joy of interacting with.
Yeah, it was
some
Friday
panelists.
night. It was the podcaster roundtable. There were like 12 people up there, and the conceit was Mike basically asked TFCon to do this panel, and then what he came up with was that it'll be a Q&A, and anybody who asks a question gets to like this booty bag that had a bunch of stuff in it, a lot of our stuff in it, and then other people put in stuff as well. And I think Transmissions put in their comic.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know what all else was in there.
There was a bunch of stuff in there, and it was good. Like Caleb and I were out in the audience. Caleb had the mic. He was going up to people to ask the questions, and I was handing out the bags. I feel like it was not clear that if you ask a question, you get a bag, because I got people asking me, "What's this bag?" So I don't know if that was completely clear.
I think it was fun. I had a hard time. I had a hard time trying to be like, okay, who am I going to pick? Because a lot of people had their hand up, and I tried to kind of spread around the room. The people on the panel got mad that I started at the back of the room and started working my way forward, though.
They did?
They were
I don't remember that.
Yeah, not mad.
Who said that?
I don't remember. I shouldn't even.
I was
brought it
only
up.
irritated because the question would get asked, and then one person would answer it, and you'd move on. And
Yeah.
I felt like the process was
I
that
just
we
did
all
that-
would answer the
I
question.
just did that
but-
once or twice, and then I got it under control.
Yeah, no, I mean you figure it out as you go along.
Yeah, but we had a lot of stuff to give away in a short amount of time. I was trying to keep
We had
it-
20 bags, and we gave them all away.
Yeah.
And it was really good to give away some old merch. Hey, if you're a new listener brought to this podcast by the merch or that panel experience, don't listen with your kids.
Don't let children listen.
And if you do listen with your kids, please don't give us a 1-star review based on how child inappropriate it is after listening to 27 episodes with your kids in the car. How about that? That's a shot fired.
Wow.
Very
From
old reviewer.
2 years ago.
We went to a steakhouse called Smokehouse that was shockingly mediocre.
Mid. Pretty mid. Terrible,
I've
but terrible
heard that about a lot
martinis.
of stuff in LA. It's like they're like, oh, it's so good, and then you go there and you're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
This is terrible.
And
The
I-
food was fine. The
Yeah.
Did you guys
martinis
go
were
to-
terrible.
Did you guys go to Scum and Villainy?
we did not.
No,
Too
we didn't
far
make
away.
it.
Yeah.
It-
Was it? Mm.
We ended up at a steakhouse instead
Yeah.
With a band.
with the band.
that was also mediocre.
I
Yeah,
thought
it
the
was-
band was fun.
Oh.
I don't know. I actually didn't. I didn't notice because it was music,
Right.
so I didn't care.
You just like the flashing lights.
I was like, ooh.
What else did you guys do? Any other standout moments?
I had a really good time going to Village Inn with Ryan at like
Denny's. It was Denny's.
going to Denny's with Ryan at like 7 o'clock in the morning. It was like a good kind of we hung
That was
out.
Saturday morning. Yeah,
Yeah.
Was there an impromptu rock show there?
I don't get that reference.
No, I don't
but
get it either.
It's one of the best videos on the planet. This Denny's, these guys had a band, like a metal band or ska band. I can't remember what it
I've
is.
seen that now.
Yeah, and they're like,
Uh-huh.
they were trying to get a weird place to have like a show, and so they asked this Denny's that was closing, and they're like, sure. So they literally just had like a metal band show in the middle of Denny's.
Not
What
this
the
one.
f- is up, Denny's? And there's like headbutting and stuff. It was great.
No, but I did learn recently that systemically, apparently, the Denny's franchise is pretty racist. Like, in a bunch of Denny's are super racist. I'm like, I didn't know that.
Wait, what do you mean? Like
To the employees.
it's
the
the
employees
people
are
that get hired there.
Like
Yeah.
it's in the handbook?
It seems to be.
Huh.
Look
Well,
it up on your own
they
time.
were very nice at this Denny's.
We're white.
Okay.
I thought you said it was about the employees, not the patrons.
I did.
I'm just,
yeah.
yeah,
That's why they had a good time, 'cause they-
Didn't get into the Frank Welker and Peter Cullen panel.
I feel
I didn't even
really
try. I
bad
didn't even
about
try.
that because I had a strategy and I talked to the people that were guarding the door. They were like, yeah, good strategy. Come in, which was basically to come in at the podcast or at the
Bob
panel,
Budiansky
right?
panel.
Yeah, right before. But, and I was with Chandler. He and I were going to do this together, but we didn't want to stand there for a while. So we went up to his room and had some caipirinhas.
Yeah.
And I didn't pay attention to the time, and we tried to execute the strategy, but it was too close to the turn time, and all the other people that thought of that basic ass approach had already filled the room, and they weren't letting anybody in. So we were
There was a line from the door to the panel room. It had to be 100 yards long.
it was ridiculous.
if we had just fucking gone in when we were there,
Yeah.
we could have done it. But I fucked
Did you
up.
guys by any chance meet him at all?
No.
Oh,
We did see
It's-
Arthur Burkhart at the bar.
I saw Peter Cullen and Frank Welker after the panel walk to like executive, like some Escalades and drive away.
give me
Oh,
one
really?
second. I got something on that.
Yeah.
I really got to get a place to put that.
Okay.
Here's my crotch.
The infamous Alphamagnus cod.
Oh yeah,
This is the best
That's
thing
a
ever.
crowning
That's
achievement.
awesome,
right
yeah.
there.
that's a great.
I'll probably
photo.
have shown it on here. I don't care. I'll show it a million times.
That's a great photo.
You and your
Alpha
Ma-
Magnus.
Macho Magnus
Macho Magnus. Yeah.
with Peter Cullen.
And Peter Cullen, what was great is you guys were literally doing the live stream for, I can't remember what it was, your 100th episode, your millionth episode?
200th.
There you go. And I was at Fan Expo Cleveland, and that's where I got that taken. It was one of those weird situations where I'm like, I've been to 2 TFCons where he went, and it was impossible to get a photo, walk up, do anything. This convention, so I will say, if you are a fan of Peter Cullen or any of those voice actors, go to non-Transformer conventions that they're at.
Sure.
Because I just walked up and was like, oh, yeah. And all of them knew it. Dan Gilvezan knew exactly what was going on. So I talked with all
You're
them.
just a hit among the voice actor community.
I just walked up and I was like, there's no line here. This is bizarre.
Yeah. What con was it?
Fan Expo. The real funny part is that I walked up to him and I'm like, I was expecting a line. He's like, oh, it'll get here once, because he was actually there like half an hour before he was supposed to even be a lineable person. He just got there early because he likes to sit down. An old guy. He even said that. And he just goes, it's a Macho Man Ultra Magnus. And I was just like, my heart be still. I got the Vapus. It's like
Nice.
he got it. I was happy about it. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say was if you ran into that problem where like, it's a 2-hour wait for his line, just wait till he's at a Fan Expo.
Sounds
That's
like
a good
strategy.
strategy. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It makes more sense.
So many strategies.
Yeah.
If you
'Cause
are
I
at a
remember-
TFCon, just show up to the previous panel way earlier than you think.
Don't go drink caipirinhas. I did like those caipirinhas. They were all right.
Cybert was at, I think, the same one, Chicago, I think, or Baltimore, one of those ones where Peter Cullen was there. And it was like, I was walking around as Macho Magnus.
That was Chicago, I think.
Yeah, I went downstairs and all of a sudden I'm like, why are there so many people down here?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
they're like, we're waiting for the Peter Cullen picture thing. And I'm like, you're going to be down here all day.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy. And then the next time I go to a convention, it's just him chilling. And like, okay, this is cool. I actually on that live stream when you had me on, I turned and had it to that, but you guys were too busy doing other stuff. So
We're very popular.
No, there
you
was
should
like
have
12
forced
of us
Peter Cullen to
live
listen
yeah.
to the show.
So I actually did that with Dan Gilvezan. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm on this podcast that does Transformer stuff, and he just goes, oh, what's it called? So who knows?
Oh,
if he ever
well, thanks
listens,
for
but-
promoting our show.
Welcome to the
man.
community,
Mm.
Dan Gilvezan.
To make it even more topical, Gary Chalk was also, I told him about this. So because he is that's Optimus Primal.
Optimus Primal.
Oh yeah, that guy. That's very important. Welcome to the community, Gary Chalk. We're covering your show right now. So TFCon, I mean, that's about it. Oh, the one thing that I regret is we missed an opportunity to meet the anonymous patron who was there, and at least I think it was the anonymous patron. That's the problem with being anonymous. You just don't really know, but he was there, and I believe that they connected with Mike Seibert, but we didn't make that happen.
No, I didn't know that.
Fuck that up.
I think it was Matt and Chris. I think it was Matt who was like, he was gonna have me sign his Jigger Beaker and Glass book, but forgot to bring it.
I do that at every con.
So if you want to mail that to me, I'll sign it.
So the anonymous patron, all you had to look for was a guy in a Guy Fawkes mask.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and then I think we alluded to this earlier. We brought a whole suitcase full of merch that we intended to sell. We couldn't get a table. I feel like we approached them pretty early to get
glad
a
we
table,
didn't get a
and we were
table.
rejected because they were full, not because
It
not
filled
because
up
they
fast.
disliked us personally.
Everything at LA filled up fast
Yeah.
this year.
So we brought a bunch of shit to sell, like on the streets,
We sold none of it.
and we sold none of it. We didn't try,
Nope.
and
We
that's
did
what
not.
happens. I shouldn't say that's what happens every time, because Caleb does.
I promoted. I
Uh,
said I posted
yeah.
on Twitter that we had stuff for sale, but nobody
That's
nobody
not,
bid.
well, not good enough.
So-
it's okay.
So I was actually going to ask, are you guys planning on going to
Baltimore.
Toronto?
No, I'm not going to Toronto.
Toronto,
Toronto.
possibly Baltimore.
Possibly.
We're
Baltimore.
talking about it.
Well, we'll have to talk about it because I want to be getting booths for those, but I don't have, like, you saw how much junk I had at the last one
Mm-hmm.
we were at. I don't have that much Transformer stuff anymore, so I'm going to be doing the toy business thing by then. So if you guys want to do like a pseudo booth thing, I was going to ask Cybert as well as Reanimated, just have like a big booth of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
We'll put
That'd
that
be
in the
interesting.
consideration
Yeah.
bucket. The tables they give you are actually pretty small, and we
The
have
corner
quite a bit of
tables are way
stuff.
better. They're
Yeah.
like,
Oh, I should say I did pick up a Triptychon, which is one of the things I was looking for. I got that almost complete. It's missing one ramp. That's all it's missing. And then I got the Seacons. I picked that up as well.
I like
So-
how you say Seacons. You put that emphasis on the A.
I guess it is Seacons, but that sounds
Seacons.
stupid.
Did you pick up anything, Caleb?
Only for my son. I got him he wanted a Joestar action figure, so I got him a Joestar action figure.
I didn't buy much. I just got, well, I did buy some stuff from the Artist Alley, but toy-wise, I just got a little new age beachcomber. Cute little guy.
I had to be careful what I bought because I packed everything into a backpack.
I threw it in Aaron's checked bag.
I liked the LA. I'd never been to the TFCon LA before. I really enjoyed the layout of the hotel, the convention itself.
There's a lot of energy at
Yeah,
LA.
it was really great. The weather was nice.
LA has nice weather, everybody.
Yes. I didn't get out and see really anything at LA. We went to that
We are in
steakhouse.
Burbank, which is kind of like in
Yeah.
the middle of nowhere.
But
as
yeah,
far
That's
as LA
fine.
goes.
I focused on the convention. I probably socialized at this more than I normally
Yeah, you were
socialize.
all over the place.
I was talking to a lot of people. It was really good energy, like Ryan said. I had a really good time. To everyone that said hi to me and thanks for talking to me. And I will say that bar was really super expensive, but that's just
Well,
the way it goes, you know.
Yeah. It was hopping though.
It was hopping.
And they made good
I was
drinks.
there a
They
lot.
did.
I hung out there a lot. So
It was a much
surprise.
better bar than Chicago.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I know that at least on the last night, I monopolized a lot of time from Evantainment and
Yes.
and Jazz and Trish and Onyx from the Swerves Bar podcast. Ryan, I saw you buddying up with Josh from More Than Meets the Ear. So I guess we're in with that crew.
Yeah, we
that's
talked
our
for
homies,
quite a while.
fist bump, long distance, virtual.
It was good. It was good. It's tough for me to do one-on-ones with people I don't know. I'm not very good at it, but I managed to just muddle through.
Josh is right your speed, though.
Yeah, we're
He's right
pretty
there.
similar.
He's right there with you. All right, well, let's see. Let's do a quick shout out to patrons and start to get drunk here.
No.
Alphamagnus, present. Debbie, Jeremy, Skeeter, Mr. Sadler, Mike Seibert of Mike Seibert Radio, Bono, Michael Trimblett, Justin R., Jonathan, Robinus Prime, Classic Daniel, Safubi Samurai, Chandler, J. Soups, Maddie V, Nick the Toy Mad Dad, Ken Bockelman.
Big kid.
I'm waiting for you there.
Sorry.
DFB Greg Murray, Captain Alexis Corey, James and Julia, Michael Ordway, Tim Dubs, Jason from Cracktastic Plastic, Thomas, Justin B, Triclops, Alex, Simon, New Daniel, Seven the Chronicler, Argonus Prime, the Unknown Patron, Brian Jones, Rick aka Autobot 1000, Mark aka Zarmat, and the anonymous patron. We got one more in the wings.
Yeah, we just haven't heard back yet.
Got in touch with them, and they're working on the thing, and
Yep.
they'll be back with us soon.
Be in the shout-outs.
Ryan,
Yo.
would you please make us something that makes me feel like I've been probed
Absolutely.
orally
Oh.
with one of your touchy-feely cocktails?
I got these touching fingers.
That's right. What do we got?
Hey, we have a buy us a drink for this episode from our friend and patron, James W. He writes, having had little interest in cocktails outside of the odd pina colada, etc., my mind was blown a few weeks ago by a drink I had in a dedicated cocktail bar in central London. Oh, I should be doing this in an accent. It was well balanced to the extent... Sorry. It was well balanced to the extent of giving me the desire to properly learn how to mix a drink. As such, please see below for my reverse-engineered take on the London Cocktail Club's catchily named Raison d'etre.
I can't do that thing you just did. It
I
makes me so
am
mad.
shocked that I did it because
Ruffles.
I can't usually do it either.
Ruffles have ridges.
Yeah, good. You guys are great.
So for this, it is 1 Demerara sugar cube, 1 bar spoon of soda water, 2 ounces Santa Teresa 1796 rum. I actually used a different one. When I looked this cocktail up from another menu, I ended up getting the rum they had, which was an El Dorado 12-year. Both those rums are excellent South American rums. For my money, the El Dorado wins because it's made in Guyana. So, Jonestown. 1 ounce Pedro Jimenez sherry, 2 dashes cocoa bitters, and 1 Luxardo maraschino cherry to garnish. To make this, in an old-fashioned glass, place the sugar cube and moisten it with the bitters. Add the soda water and muddle until a paste is formed. Add rum and stir vigorously. Once homogeneous, add cubed ice, the larger the better, leaving the glass half full or half empty depending on perspective. Stir and add sherry. Top up ice to fill the glass and stir again. Treat the ice as if making an old-fashioned. Serve garnish with a single Luxardo cherry.
And this is using your little product that you've been perfecting, right?
My product?
The ice.
Oh, yeah. I've been working on clarified ice using, insulated cups, inflated, drinking cups like this.
The spice melange.
I hope we get fucking otherworldly high off this.
I'll put a link to the YouTube video that shows how to make this ice. It's really simple. Woo! And also I put them in this glass that Bono made for us, the APDC glass.
Oh, I hadn't even seen these.
Yeah, you have seen them.
I don't think I have.
Yeah.
They're
check out the bottom.
Smoky rocks glasses.
Wow, that's a good drink.
Oh, that's so cool.
The sleeper has awakened.
I can't.
It's
quite,
a half.
Falling on your
it's
deaf
half Autobot,
ears
half
over there.
Decepticon
So cool.
symbol.
Thank you, Bono.
This was a long time.
You know how
ago
I
she
feel.
sent these.
You know how I feel about this drink.
You've been desperately looking for that for the whole time I was talking. I saw it out of the corner of my eye. It was very distracting.
Learn how to
I'm
focus.
glad you didn't
Ryan.
hear anything I said.
Learn how to focus. I heard rum, Jim Jones. We got the picture. It's good. I like it a lot.
All right.
It's kind of like a cool take on a old fashioned. I mean, maybe it's the cherry garnish that's doing that for me.
Once
in
the
rocks
alcohol
glass.
kind of burns off the top, I can taste like chocolate.
Well, it's cocoa bitters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very subtle. It's nice, balanced. That drink club, that British drink club, knows what they're doing.
It's weird. Mine tastes like cherry cola.
Oh.
Cherry cola.
Yeah, I get it.
I gotta
We all
work
know
on my
you're
next.
straight edge, okay? You think you're better than us.
So a thing about straight edge is I'm pretty sure that they are celibate.
I think are you confusing that with incels?
It depends
That's
on
involuntary.
it depends on the flavor, I guess, of straight edge. They have a lot of rules.
What you're saying to all the ladies out there is that you fuck Alphamagnus. But you do it soberly.
Yeah, I do. Well, to get back to the drink.
Okay. No, let's talk about the cod piece. No, go ahead, Ryan.
I like it. I like this a lot. I also like the name, the raisin d'etre. It's spelled like raisin, like the dehydrated grape, because sherry is made from grapes, and it's very fun. And yeah, it's delicious. And this rum is also really good. It's a good sipper just on its own. The 12-year El Dorado. I love a good expensive rum. Yeah. It's not even that expensive. It's like $40.
Okay, that's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty middle range. So thank you, James, for buying us a drink.
Good drink.
And if you'd like to buy us a drink, you can just send us. Well, if you're a patron, you don't have to send us money. You can. I'll take it.
These patrons keep sending us
They
money.
do keep sending us money. I'm I'm not going to say no. But you can send us $5 hairs to at APODcast on PayPal and tell me what you would like me to drink or make, and I will make that for you on a future episode because I can't make it on a past one. Alphamagnus is holding up a token, a buy us a drink token from our last booty box that I expected to see some of those in LA.
Didn't see none.
Didn't see.
No.
Hey, check it out.
Thirsty, money, buy us a drink. Buy us a drink.
All I ever wanted.
Very new age. Get a little Pet Shop Boys out of that.
No. Alphamagnus has got it. It's
In
heavy.
my gut.
It's heavy on the Depeche Mode.
Okay. All right. So more gothic. I feel like Depeche Mode and Pet Shop Boys, there's a Venn diagram overlap.
You gotta do the
Absolutely.
Dark Wave.
Yeah.
Dark Wave is in right now.
Aaron, if it makes you feel better, sure, yeah, there's some Pet Shop Boys in there, too.
Last episode recap. We got a felinious new addition to the Maximals roster.
Yep.
That was a play on words. Because
it
there's a
was,
cat.
Technically, yeah,
Cat.
it was really good.
But today, right now, we're headed back to pick up with Chain of Command, written by Jesse Winfield, directed by Andrew Cousette. And
Yeah, this episode will
look at
come out.
that.
There he is, Tigertrod. This episode will come out on April 21st, so happy Earth Day and Passover.
If you have a Tigertron, make sure you take a look at him because a lot of people's are turning like yellow and orange.
oh, already?
Mine somehow didn't.
That's just a risk with white plastic in general, I feel.
It was really bad during the time of this.
Yeah.
So
My Nintendo and Super Nintendo are still beige or white. They didn't get that yellow coloring.
I have to do the Super Nintendo, but I took my Nintendo apart and put it in a bath of hydrogen peroxide in the sun,
Oh.
and that takes the bleach out or whatever, bleaches it.
It bleaches the yellow out.
You can do it with the old jet fires as well.
I thought you were about to describe just a really nerdy way to kill yourself. I took my Nintendo and put it in the bath with me.
I don't think, by the way, that toaster in the bathtub thing works. I don't think that's real.
Oh, I suggest people don't try it.
Do it. Fuck it.
All I know is that Inspector Gadget told me not to use a knife to get my toast out of the toaster, so
I mean, unplug it first.
I use my tongue instead.
That's some Toastaligus. All right.
All right.
I like it dry.
For Christ's sake. We're going to talk about this episode, what?
We kick things off in sort of a weird, I don't know if it's a desert-y environment, but we hear the words. This isn't a natural stone formation. Somebody,
No human
somehow
would stack
built
stones
this
like
thing. No shit, Rhinox. We're looking at fucking Stonehenge. I'm sorry, the standing stones.
So, is that based? I've heard it's either based on or actually could be meant to be the actual monument of Stonehenge.
I don't think it is supposed to be. But I mean, there are tons of standing stone.
Yeah, there's a bunch of henges.
Yeah.
Well,
Besides Stonehenge.
why wouldn't you base it on the most famous one?
well, I know it's based on Stonehenge, but according to TF Wiki, according to the plot, that might be
the actual
the
design.
actual.
It
That
could
might
be.
That might.
I see what you're saying.
supposed to be Stonehenge.
Yeah.
I mean, we call it a wacky hypothesis at this point, but I feel like they might be on planet Earth.
Stonehenge, one of the biggest hinges that's ever been.
Yeah.
No one knows what the fuck a hinge is. That's Eddie Izzard.
Have you guys ever seen that Eveless Stonehenge song?
No.
I've seen the one from
From Spinal Tap?
Spinal Tap.
The same guys that did the What Does the Fox Say? They did a
Oh.
song called Stonehenge.
Oh,
And it
okay.
is amazing.
Oh.
It's like about him and he's cooking his wife a dinner and all he can think about is Stonehenge. And like all this, it's crazy.
I guess that'll be on the website, that video.
Yeah. It's great. It's on YouTube.
So, what is Stonehenge, you ask?
Okay. Caleb has notes if you
I
didn't get
did-
the awkward pauses.
So, Stonehenge is a prehistoric megalithic structure in Salisbury Plain in Wiltshire, England. It's about 90 miles or 145 kilometers west of London. It consists of an outer ring of vertical standing stones, each around 13 feet high, 7 feet wide, and weighing around 25 tons, topped by connecting horizontal lentil stones. Mm-hmm.
It's good for your digestion.
Mm-hmm. Inside,
I
though,
love me an ancient grain.
yes, it could be those 25-ton poops in the toilet. Side is a ring of smaller stones, and inside these are freestanding, they call trilithons, two bulkier vertical stones joined by one lentil. And the whole structure is aligned towards the sunrise on the summer solstice and sunset on the winter solstice. The stones are set within earthworks in the middle of the densest complex of Neolithic and Bronze Age monuments in England, including several hundred tumuli, which are burial mounds. Archaeologists believe that Stonehenge was constructed and modified in several phases from around 3100 BC to 1600 BC. It was produced by Neolithic and Bronze Age cultures that left no written records. Many aspects of Stonehenge, such as how it was built and for what purposes it was used, remains subject to debate. One of the famous landmarks in the United Kingdom, Stonehenge is regarded as a British cultural icon and has been a legally protected scheduled monument since 1882. The site and its surroundings were added to the UNESCO's list of World Heritage Sites in 1986, and Stonehenge is owned by the Crown and managed by English Heritage. The surrounding land is owned by the National Trust. And there is your facts on Stonehenge.
Listeners from, Europe and the UK, have you been there? I've never been to Stonehenge. I have been to Britain, but...
I've been to Britain, never been to Stonehenge. Yeah. So anyway, is this Stonehenge or not?
Sure.
Well,
Sure.
I mean, the episode does not make it clear. They never said, this is what future inhabitants of this planet will call Stonehenge.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying they allude to something in TF Wiki, and I'm just really curious what the hell they alluded, why they said that. So,
wow.
It would be weird for a gorilla and a cheetah bone to be near there, but
ooh,
I think it's all off. Yeah.
They find like rusty old transformer carcasses buried in the soil. I love it. I think we should do that as a practical joke someday.
Okay, great.
It's a rhinoceros, a giant rat.
It's going to be a viral hit along the lines of Logan Paul finding dead people in a Japanese forest. We're going to make this happen. Okay.
Let's make him a wrestler.
This is a very purposefully created rock architecture, or rock-itecture rather. In the middle of this environment, the Maximals, Primal, is detecting Energon underneath a pile of rocks in the center of this formation. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was just going to say, this scanner is crazy that he has. I like that it looks like a steam gun for clothes.
I thought it looked like an old-timey price checker.
Oh,
at a grocery
like
store.
a UPC thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like the price gun that makes the actual stickers.
Yeah.
It
no,
does?
Well, no, I was thinking more the former, but I think the latter works as well.
Yep. We would also accept that thing you take whenever you go to make a wedding registry, and you just scan a bunch of shit in a fucking Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yeah. R.I.P. Gone too soon.
Taken from us.
Right.
Also, we have shadows.
Yeah,
outside.
I did see that they know. I did see that Wikipedia, TF Wiki noted that that's a rare occurrence.
Don't worry,
ground shadows.
Later,
in the
there won't be any here.
They understand that there's energy underneath this monument, and Rhinox surmises that really the energon on this whole planet doesn't seem to have formed naturally. It just doesn't seem to be, I don't know, part of like the geological signature of the planet. And regardless, Dinobot states, we got to remove this before the Predacons discover this. But the Predacons have already discovered it. They're all here. Megatron, Waspinator, Scorponok, Pterosaur, Tarantulas, all terrorized, firing their bullets or pulses or whatever they are, forcing the Maximals to take shelter.
I really, really like Tarantulas' machine gun spider arms.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It feels a little cheap. Like, what else are you going to shoot out of? I guess these legs
Cheap.
on my back.
I think it's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our boys take to the ground and return fire. Cheater pinches off Scorponok. Tarantulas is knocked on his spinnerets. Primal takes off to finish the flyers, popping Waspy to the ground below. But Terry gets a shot at the rocks covering the giant Energon deposit. Ba-whoosh! We get a huge explosion.
There are a lot of these weird action movie moments in Beast Wars of like the outrun the fireball trope.
Cool guys don't look at explosions.
That's right. Like that's Rhinox flying away in slow motion from the explosion. We get like that Cheetor is running away from the flames in one, and I think the same one where we see from 3 different angles the explosion where Cheetor and Rattrap run away in Tarantulas' lair.
Like the supercut.
Yeah.
So this event, the explosion event, really annoys the shit out of Megatron. He's like, that's kind of the whole point of us being here.
And it was weird because no one was in front of it, so he just shot at Pterosaur, just shot straight at the stones.
He's a literal loose cannon. And so those guys peace out, but there is some remaining, I don't know, vestige of the energon that is still there, and it's glowing and vibrating, sending out a beam into outer space, some kind of strange signal. It's some weird shit. Everybody acknowledges that it's a strange occurrence.
See that?
And it lends credibility to Rhinox's claim that that this isn't natural.
Yeah. See how that's shooting up? There's 2 trilithons right there, and then there's a ring of like lentil stones right there.
I hate it when I shoot up my trilithon.
Yeah.
I do like this. Also, kind of felt a little space bridgey to me.
I can see that.
But
round,
I think this lends
beamy.
also, like, I can totally see, like you were saying, Alphamagnus, that there is a lot of, like, peppered throughout this episode in particular, allusions to future revelations, perhaps.
Yeah. This felt like a non-episodic episode.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think this
It
is
felt
kind of
like-
where they start doing that.
Yeah, episode 5, let's chunk some lore in there.
I did. TF Wiki said that this event refers to actually even go back as far as the second episode of Beast Wars, but I didn't dig into that even. I didn't dig into that more.
I think
what in episode 2 is connected to this, which is connected.
Well,
to
because you see
what happens
this
in the future.
stone ring in episode 2. They
Is that
pass
right?
it.
Okay.
And then, yeah, it'll come back later.
Yeah, they weren't winging it. Whoever made this show was like, we're gonna give them a few episodes of just goofy stuff. Kind of, it's more like they did not character build, but like world building.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like
they
it.
They built the world so that you knew, like, hey, well, Megatron's in this lava area, and
Mhm.
this area is in this area, so that you kind of had like a map of where it was.
I love it.
And the showrunners wanted to do that. They fought Hasbro on that because Hasbro wanted an episodic show, and they fought to have it more like a through line, like story building.
yeah.
Yeah, so they gave him the first 4 episodes, and they're probably like, okay, yeah, this is good. And then they're like, now it's our time.
So the Autobots are perplexed. Perhaps they'll learn the answer to whatever this was someday. We find ourselves now in space, outside of Earth's atmosphere. A portal opens. A small vessel emerges and enters the planet's atmosphere. Primal reading the latest Sarah J. Maas epic, and Megatron just hanging out and being Megatron from their respective bases. Both notice the incoming object. What, Ryan?
Why did you pull that author?
I don't know. I feel like everybody's reading fucking Sarah J. Maas
okay.
nowadays.
All right.
At least every woman I know is into Sarah J. Maas.
All right. Okay.
Which means
What?
your wife's reading Sarah J. Maas.
She's not, no. I know more. I know more girls.
Are you saying she's not a woman?
Or illiterate.
You guys are all twisting and turning my words.
Like a woman would.
Megatron believes it to be a stasis pod, but Rhinox's calculations conclude that it's not, and
Well,
and
the
it's
angle
headed
of
for the
approach.
standing stones. Yeah, the Maximals, Prime and Dinobot, and the Predacons, namely Megatron and Waspinator. You pick one guy to go with you, and that's the guy you pick.
Yeah, Waspinator?
Yeah, I'm not picking
Well,
Waspinator to
Pterosaur really
go on my 2-person journey.
really fucked up last time, so he's like,
I'm hanging out with Tarantulas all day long. He's the guy I'm taking on this
creepy
shit.
as hell.
Yeah, I get
Bring
it. But
Scorponok.
I like him. Scorponok is
He's a toady.
like, he's dumb and he'll do what you tell him.
Yeah.
So it's, between those two, that's who I'm picking. But it's Waspinator and Megatron, and they converge upon the stones and the strange vessel. They prepare to battle over the property rights to the ship, but the craft emits a burst of
Salvage.
energy that disables the beastly bots. Prime is vaporized, and Dinobot just passes the hell out.
Yeah,
And I'm sure this is probably a commercial break at this point, but
I think the probe looks really cool. It
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of the spaceship from Flight of the Navigator, but it has all these cool like little glyphs on it and stuff. I don't know. It's neat.
Makes me want a coffee bean.
just a single bean
One single bean.
to admire. Dinobot regains consciousness. He's in a groggy state. He believes himself to be in a maximal torture chamber, and he bursts free. But, it's just a repair pod, and you got Rattrap, Rhinox, and Cheetor, and they explain that they found Dinobot's carcass outside the ship.
Yeah.
Scrapped down and alone.
Rattrap says, like an orphan in a B movie. So, a couple things. First of all,
That's just weird.
Weird you know what a B movie is, but also, how many B movies feature orphans being abandoned outside doorsteps?
Maybe he was talking about the Jerry Seinfeld B movie.
That would be
Do orphans play
even
in that?
more specific. Is B movie just an animated take on Oliver Twist? I haven't seen it.
It's about a woman who falls in love with a bee, I think.
It's very weird.
A human woman?
Yeah.
Yes, a human
Yes.
woman. No. Jerry
What
Seinfeld.
is it with trans-species love?
If I'm gonna, fuck an insect, it's gonna be a bee.
Okay.
Big old bumblebee.
Great.
Dead ass dough.
Big old bumblebee.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
Moving right along, I regret all my decisions. Dinobot relays that Optimus Primal is dead due to the beam of whatever came from that shuttlecraft. Dinobot attempts to assume control of the Maximals. We got to go get that alien vessel, but Rattrap takes issue with this self-coronation, and Rhinox suggests a secret ballot.
Yeah, like he says, we'll settle the chain of command in traditional Maximal fashion. I hoped he was going to say, like, tickle fight. Like, first one to puke loses.
Is that how your tickle fights end?
You don't know. I got a lot of rules.
We'll play a game of Rochambeau.
Yeah. Well, I forgot to mention this also. How did Dinobot get there? Like, I guess we're supposed to assume the probe sent everyone back to their bases just outside the door?
And I don't know if it transmitted them or if somebody physically carried
It's
them.
never
there.
addressed or answered, so...
Yeah. And why do that? What's the point?
Yeah, why do that in the show, but also for the writer, why do that and why not just have him be picked up from the spot, like from the stones? Why is he delivered to the door? I don't know. It's just
They
a weird
had
component.
27 minutes. And
Yeah, I think
filled
they just had to move
27
things along.
minutes.
Yeah.
I guess.
We didn't need the 5-minute
But
scene
you
of
also-
each team sending a search party out to find their people.
I know, but you could have just said, instead of saying we found you outside the door, they could have said we found you at the stones.
Yeah. It also does help lend to the plot point that some of the Maximals believe it's possible that Dinobot killed Primal.
I guess.
And which is really frustrating to Dinobot because I feel like, he is fiercely loyal at this point to Optimus Primal, so that kind of accusation would probably, make him sad.
Yeah. No, I see that.
Oh, we're going to go to Megatron and Waspinator, and they are also recovering in the Darkseid's own repair facilities.
Which
they
seem way grosser and weirder.
They're like these weird hot tubs.
They're those vats of gelatinous material with like these grates that raises them up out of them. It's very strange.
Yeah. They were also dumped by the mysterious forces at their ship, badly damaged. Megatron also believes Primal to be deceased. He sends Waspinator and Scorponok to secure the probe at the Standing Stones. Meanwhile, Megatron is going to use Primal's death as an opportunity to capitalize on the confusion of the Maximals with an attack on their headquarters.
It's a good plan. I will also say, I forgot that not only Waspinator, but Scorponok seems to refer to himself in the third person. He seemed pretty freaked out to be left alone with Tarantulas and Pterosaur. He's like very excited Megatron's back. He was very upset to be alone with them.
Well, and in the next episode, I will kind of see a little bit more of that even more. He's sort of like in Transformers Animated, what's the character's name? Lockdown, maybe? Like he's just... Lugnut. Is that what it is? Just the
Yes.
one-eyed guy? Just fiercely dedicated to the leader, and nothing's going to sway him.
TF Wiki speculates that maybe Scorponok was freaked out because of Tarantulas' dietary habits.
It's possible. That makes sense. I would be.
I mean, if anybody's going to eat you, it's going to be that guy. And that's why I want him on my duo trips, my duo adventures. Back at the Axelon, the vote count is on. I was going to make some, Arizona reference here, but I guess I didn't. 2 to 2. There is no winner. just as the Dinobot decides to take the January 6th approach.
There we go.
To solve, yeah, I put something in here to fill the leadership gap. The team gets a haunting, echoey transmission from Optimus Primal.
It's pretty obvious that Cheetor was the one who voted for Dinobot.
That's what TF Wiki says. I was trying to follow the logic. There is one piece that made sense. They said that Cheetor made a face because as we go through this, Primal is going to explain that he doesn't know where his body is and that this is somehow he still has control of his consciousness and he thinks his physical essence is somewhere on that ship.
On the probe.
And then he puts Rattrap in charge to go and save Optimus. And TF Wiki says that you can see on Cheetor's face a look of like, I don't know, just sort of disagreement or shock. And I didn't see that.
Well,
So I'm going to add to the mix here. I disagree. I fully think that it was Rhinox.
no, I don't think so, because Rhinox's reaction to the second vote for Dinobot is
He did a breath.
he seems shocked.
But that breath could have been just because it was a tie and they knew they were going
Could have
nowhere.
been.
Go ahead, Alphamagnus.
But he, this is one of the alluding to stuff later on. He also purposely says it's a secret ballot for a reason.
Well, I know that also.
Yeah.
I felt kind of the same way when he said that as well.
But
like I'm not going to reveal.
There are later episodes that kind of lean into the allegiances of both Cheetor and Rhinox, and it's like it makes a little more sense later on. You start seeing like some of them are less likely to just be like, "Sir, yes, sir," and they're like, "This makes more sense for the group."
Well, Rhinox, when Rattrap is given the role of temporary commander, Rhinox does kind of pat Rattrap on the shoulder, which was another piece of evidence that TF Wiki used to say that they thought Cheetor was the one that voted because of the sort of approving pat on the back. But at the same time, I feel like what I know of Rhinox right now, logically, he would probably go for Dinobot over Rattrap because Dinobot just seems to have a little more sense. But Rattrap proved himself this episode.
He did.
More to come.
And it's like, so Primal puts Rattrap.
They're both shady choices in their own way.
Yeah,
you know what
really.
I'd do? I'd put Rhinox in charge.
That's actually what I was about.
Exactly.
I wrote that down. Why
Actually,
is Rhinox in charge?
That's what I was about to
Always
say.
put the person in charge who does not say they want to be in charge.
I wrote.
That's rule number one.
It's like it's how the person who should be president is the one who doesn't want it. But like I wrote that I feel like Rhinox is a better choice, but maybe he just doesn't like or handle command well. I don't because he didn't vote for himself. So
that would be funny. One vote for Rhinox.
This is why you can't have a democracy of 4.
At a certain level, a dictatorship maybe is appropriate.
You can have a democracy as long as it's 3 or fewer people.
I mean, honestly, there's no democracy in the military. It's not like they vote for their leaders.
No. Well, why? No. What is it? How
They're
does,
all appointed.
Oh, you're saying they're a military force.
Yeah, I'm saying that it really the only place that democracy happens is in quote unquote in the government. Allegedly, democracy happens, or in like I don't know unions or like co-ops, things like that. But in a corporate environment or a military environment, or whatever, there's no democracy.
But the Maximals aren't a military force; they were at peace.
Yeah, I gotcha, but I guess. I don't know. There's 4 people. It's stupid.
Yeah, it is stupid. I completely agree. I also think
they should have just fought it out.
Also, my instinct was like, yeah, I'd probably pick Dinobot. But like you said, Rattrap does do a pretty good job.
All right.
Because the script dictates that he does.
Right. Well, you gotta develop him a little bit more. We know him as this hothead.
Yeah, I do feel like this is the first time that you get real development out of anybody.
Yeah, the Axelon. It's under attack.
Sorry, can I say one
immediately?
More thing? I'm sorry to interrupt. God. There was one more just note that I had that is stupid, and I'm sorry I'm even interrupting for it. So Primal, like, he has no body. His essence is being stored and scanned inside the alien probe. And I wrote this isn't relevant, but it reminds me of the Star Trek The Next Generation episode where Scotty shows up having being stored in the transporter pattern buffer for like 70 years.
Yeah.
That just what it made me think of immediately.
I do remember as a kid, I didn't watch Star Trek: The Next Generation, but it was always on Sundays.
Yep.
Yeah.
And my great aunt and grandmother, who I lived with at the time, would always watch it and have it on, but I wasn't interested in it at the time. But I was aware of like Scotty and the original characters, and I remember him showing up on our next episode, and I was excited. I was like, "Oh, somebody I know," but I don't. I didn't remember the circumstances of him being there
because they didn't want to do the they were I think it was like season 2 for that. They were trying to get the old people who like Star Trek in, kind of like Transformers does, where they're like, "Hey, G1. Oh yeah,
Optimus Prime is back."
Yeah. Oh, weird. They were trying to get the G1er Star Trek guys in. So the first season had DeForest Kelley in there.
Yeah, it was the first episode.
Yep.
He was super aged up. They made him look older because it was supposed to be that far into the future.
Yeah, he was like 120 or
he
something.
made it.
Well, then they hit Scotty, and they're like, "We don't want to deal with this aging crap anymore. So let's just say he was stuck in a buffer."
I thought it was a good story. I liked it.
It was actually a really good episode. But,
Yeah.
it was. There's a podcast called Newbie Star Trek. They're great. If you're into Star Trek at all,
Oh, okay.
they're rewatching the entire Next Generation,
That's cool.
and they come up with some good stuff. Like, honestly, they're the you of Star Trek.
Oh, cool.
And
I'll check that out.
yeah,
I like
it's the
these.
same
Fellow
it's the
time
same line.
wasters.
Correct, but no, they make the same jokes and whatnot kind of deal.
Awesome.
But they were talking about how that episode, every single time Scotty said anything, it felt like it was the last time he was supposed to be on screen.
That is cool,
Like
also because they do. He goes to the holodeck, and he does a holodeck of the Enterprise, the original Enterprise. That was kind of neat. That was neat.
Very
And
nice.
then Patrick Stewart shows he's a badass because he drinks Romulan ale, or it's not Romulan ale, it's something else. But he's like, yeah, Guinan keeps this behind the bar for me because it's real alcohol, not
real.
synthahol.
Right.
So the episode with DeForest Kelley was the conceit that he had just been alive
Yes.
naturally or through whatever
Yeah.
technology keeps people
was a
alive
good-
that long.
It was to tell them, this is the same universe. It's not a reboot.
It's a It was a continuity deal, and it was cool to see. Then Bones still had it. He was jabbing at his dead friends too. He was just like
He was also, I think, kind of racist in that episode. Like they wrote him that way. It was real
Like
weird.
he got
I don't remember.
old and grumpy
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, he got real curmudgeon.
yeah. He was MFGA. Make the Federation great again.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Yes, he was totally all.
You know
that.
what's also interesting? Sorry, that was a good joke, Caleb. But I just thought of the fact that I remember rewatching the early episodes, and like the early episodes, some of the male ensigns are wearing skirts, like onesies that are skirts. Like
They do it through the whole thing, but not as much. They were
I think they were just trying to be progressive. It's an interesting take.
Star Trek's never been progressive before. They're making it woke.
Yeah,
I mean, don't they live isn't it a socialist society?
yeah. It's
Socialist
basically-
utopia.
There's
Utopia.
no money anymore, man.
right?
What's funny too is that like a lot of the people who did cameos,
Yeah.
they were only in one episode apiece. But like if you look at like Spock's father, Sarek, I think that was his name.
Yep.
He's in that more than he was the original series.
Yeah.
Like he's in like a bunch of episodes.
Yeah.
They did a really good job at mixing all that stuff together. I
He
do have to give
also,
them that.
in the original series, played a Romulan.
Yeah.
He was the first. Whenever they encounter the Star Empire, he was the Romulan captain who dies.
I mean, they all look.
They
do
do
that
that
all
of
the t-
reusing
they do that all
characters
the
in
time.
different roles.
They
Right?
all they all look alike.
Wasn't Chris Latta on an episode of The Next Generation?
Yes,
Yeah. Jeffrey Combs, I think, has been in like every series. If I'm not,
I don't know if he has
maybe
been,
not the
but he's
first
in a
one.
lot. Yeah,
yeah, maybe not the first one, but yeah, he's
pretty
I actually
prominently
met
in
him
Enterprise.
at GalaxyCon. He's pretty cool.
All right, Rattrap
Star Trek minute.
is now the leader of the Maximals. Primal's like, come get me, but also be aware that the Predacons are probably going to come after you, and they do right now.
Yep.
The ship is under attack. Dinobot, kind of like a dick, says to Rattrap, "What are your orders?" And Rattrap commands a frontal assault and asks Rhinox to concoct a device to extract Primal from the probe.
Yeah, don't you? So again, like the Autobots, the Maximals do not understand the concept of a fortress defense. Also, don't you guys have autocannons?
Yeah, they forgot about that, didn't they?
Maybe
Open up
because
those
this is
bitches.
aired and produced out of sequence, that hadn't come up yet. But this seems like a bad plan.
Well, Dinobot says that as much, but it all, I guess, turns out okay.
I
The
guess.
Maximals engage the Predacons. Dinobot delivers a flying heel kick smasher to Megatron's face. Cheetor and Rattrap provide cover fire while Rhinox is inventing an invention.
The cool thing about when Rattrap and Cheetor are running is that you notice there's a cool detail where while they're shooting, the exhaust from their guns flies back as they're running in a very realistic way. It's a nit detail.
Yeah, you can really tell with this. Did you guys ever watch Reboot?
Mm-mm.
I would have a podcast of Reboot. I love that show. That show is same guys that made this, but without any need for canon. So they just went buck nutty and made whatever they wanted. But you can tell from Reboot to this that they got way better at animation because it was very blocky back then.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you start seeing all the effects and stuff, that they obviously had 5 or 10 year newer computers. So.
Yeah, they were also churning out these things at a crazy pace for AI for CGI. It's insane that they were able to do that.
Honestly, when I think about Transformers Prime, which I did watch a fair bit of, at least the whole first season, while the character animation is a little bit more high fidelity, the backgrounds are about the same in terms of quality and detail and interest.
I felt 20 years passed and nothing really changed on there. I felt like Prime was
underfunded
processed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we got a fight happening. We've got a nice mano a mano between our good guy and bad guy dinosaurs.
It is the worst fight I've ever seen.
Oh, really, Ryan? Because I was thinking they displayed some deftness in the sweet science. That's boxing? Oh, that's a boxing term.
Really? Because it looked like a pretty shitty fist fight to me. It just looked terrible. Oh, we're not. I guess we're going to use our guns or swords, and then eventually Dinobot remembers he has eye lasers. It's dumb.
Yeah. Rattrap recognizes that their ship's shields are suspect after Dinobot, who is still occupied with his mortal melee with Megatron, disobeys the directive to debug their defenses. Rattrap flips into action and resets the ship's shield circuitry.
Yeah, Rattrap says one more missile hit and the shields are gone for good.
Then it gets hit 5 times.
Yeah, so I'm either Pterosaur's shots don't count as missiles or it has to hit a specific point. I think it's just an animation issue.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do.
It's context sensitive. Plot device, who cares? They just do what they do.
Whatever.
Well, and maybe I should wait and see how it plays out here, because Rattrap, when he flies into action, there's a whole point of Pterosaur flying to a strategic location to try and give the death blow to the ship's shields. No, it's the same gun he always fires. I didn't know if maybe he brought out a special weapon with rockets or something to do it, but no, it's the same.
And also,
same
apparently,
shooter.
resetting the ship's shield circuitry means
Touching
pushing
a button. Yeah.
I'm I feel like that should be automatic.
And why would it be there? And the elevator, it's attached to the elevator that the Maximals use to exit the ship.
I'm going to go ahead and say, because also this guy is the writer of the next episode we're going to watch, I don't think he's the greatest writer. He puts in a lot of weird. This episode's way better than the next one we're gonna do.
Oh yeah, the next one.
I think this one's also they're the credited writers, but there's actually 3 guys or something that do it. It's real weird because you feel like this episode even feels like it's 3 episodes. This entire part, this 2-minute span, it didn't need to be there.
Nope.
Yeah, Dinobot finally decides to put away his fists and breaks out his laser eye and blasts Megatron. Tarantula suggests, hey, maybe we
Why are we doing this?
should go to that standing stone thing.
It was a good plan, though, to try to... I understand the logic.
I get it. Well, it keeps the Maximals from going there, and it's a good opportunity because their leader's dead. And so they leave. Dinobot apologizes to Rattrap for his insubordination. He is dishonored, but Rattrap lets him off the emotional hook.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice moment. I literally wrote that. Rattrap lets him off the hook, and Dinobot
next
apologizes.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to transition to the Standing Stones. I'm immediately confused because somehow the Maximals are here first. The Predacons sent an early party to go get it and attacked the Maximals. So just from a timeline perspective, Waspinator and Pterosaur should be...
Well, Pterosaur's here.
No, Waspinator and Scorponok should be there. But they're not, or maybe they just got there and are hiding, and they know, and they're because I guess the thing that happens over and over again this episode is the Maximals are at the spot at the Standing Stones, and they get jumped by the Predacons.
Instead of
3 for 3.
Yep, 3 times in a row, and instead of Megatron just shooting them in the back, I guess
announces
it's
himself.
a benefit because he has to crack wise.
Yeah. So the Maximals are here first. Rhinox, he's got his invention in his hand. He's a little hesitant about its potential effectiveness. But the Preds show up, and of course a fight breaks out.
Yep. Should you guys be shooting at the probe that you want? Like, this seems like a bad idea.
Maybe
I
they
don't
just
know.
think their aim is really good, except they're hitting the rocks right next to the probe.
Those are Standing Stones.
You mean the... God damn it, I forgot the grain. The grain we were talking about. Anyway.
Lentil is what
Lentils. Yes,
Oh.
thank you. He hit the lentils.
Nope. The lentils are the ones that are on top.
Oh.
Those are the horizontal pieces. They were just hitting the Standing Stones.
Okay. The Preds show up. There's a fight. The Maximals hold the door, while Rhinox attempts extraction. Waspinator tries a sneak attack on Rhinox, who unleashes the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life, the chain guns of doom on the Vespula vulgaris,
Yeah,
hitting
man.
Waspinator like 80 times,
Yeah, it's
shredding
crazy.
him to pieces.
Yeah, it's like...
And it's like 20 or 30
It's
seconds.
a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Loading on him.
Yeah,
his gun is so fucking cool, though.
Did his
I
arm
love that
just
thing.
fall off?
Yeah, he goes to pieces.
I didn't notice that the first time.
I think this is the first. I feel like this is a trope, if I understand Beast Wars correctly.
It is,
of, like
yeah.
the first occurrence of Waspinator just getting fucked up.
It is in air order, not in production order, because we saw one where he explodes in a bunch of pieces on a previous episode we did.
Oh my God, you killed Kenny.
This probe opening up is kind of neat. I think it's really cool looking.
Oh.
Yeah, there's
It's like-
a.
I'm just looking at his teeth.
Yes.
Speaking of he killed Kenny. Megatron's teeth remind me of South Park teeth. Every time
They're
I see
weird. really
teeth.
weird.
They're weird teeth.
They don't seem to obey any laws of anything. Like, they're just randomly... They're not even like human teeth. They seem in weird positions, and I
There's
don't
a
know.
lot of them.
Yeah, as Ryan alluded to, something weird is happening with the alien craft. It's kind of blooming like a lotus flower or something. A
I was
light
going to
is
say a vulva.
I was trying to figure out what I'm looking at. Like, what am I looking at?
yeah.
here?
There's all kinds of weird tech and machinery emerging from it. There's a vibrating light, and Rhinox makes the point that hey, this whole location is a signaling
One
device.
big
You know what-
device.
You know what that thing reminds me of now?
What?
The cover to Journey Escape.
I'd have to. Is that a psychedelic progressive rock album cover?
Yes. And don't stop.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
Believe it.
it's got that kind of
Yeah.
animation, like ELO, like some of the ELO stuff,
like
that they did.
Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boston's a good example for sure. Yep.
That almost looks exactly like the fucking probe.
That's a scarab.
Yeah. Well, the probe is scarab-esque in the
Yeah.
way it opens
Nope.
up. Its shell.
It's got that whole 70s fantasy art appeal. Like, yeah, for sure.
I've
Any
never
way
seen this
you
album.
want
cover.
it, that's the way you need
Is
it.
this the Journey album that has like their biggest hits?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I've never seen a Journey album.
Is it the
cover.
Boston cover that has UFO guitars?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
did not realize those were guitars until someone pointed it out
Until
online.
you listen to the album and you're like,
no, I'm not doing. I mean, I like.
Yeah,
Boston, I'm just
it's
kidding.
because of the angle and the foreshortening.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to like see it, but once you see it, you're like,
yeah,
oh,
I'm like,
totally.
oh, obviously.
Yeah. That Boston album cover is awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
70s rock, like from a graphic design standpoint, I love like you still had these sort of psychedelic Art Nouveau influence in a lot of the elements of it, but it still like had that 70s twist to it.
Check out Earth, Wind, and Fire album covers. Those are also crazy. They had an Egyptian. They had like an Egyptian alien thing going on.
The Boston album cover is one of my favorite just things that exist, because there's an entire episode of Space Ghost Coast to Coast where Moltar gets abducted by them and they go rocking.
Yeah. I love Space Ghost so much. Everything is Egyptian with Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh yeah,
oh,
I thought it was
like
Stonehenge. Yeah, but it's not. No, it's just ruins. Anyway, yeah, they were all about that. I think what happened is like somebody got really into airbrushing and was like, "Look at this."
Airbrushing was very coming into its own in the 70s and 80s.
So what we're getting at, I guess, on accident, is that the people who wrote this are probably into this kind of music.
I would say definitely.
I think one of my favorite just weird album covers is Bitches Brew. Miles. I know that's kind of like a basic one, but it's just phenomenal and freaky weird, and like the inside album art is just
nice.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Pretty wild. It's a great album.
Yeah.
A weird one, tough one to listen to when you first hear it. It's when he starts getting. It's when Miles really. I mean, Miles was always a progressive artist, but it's less accessible than like the bebop stuff.
No, he starts wearing those big cataract glasses.
Yeah, Miles Davis is just. I've always wanted to do an illustration or art piece of Miles Davis. He is just one of the most
he's
unique,
a weird,
looking
difficult
people.
Person. He's a weird dude. I heard he was kind of hard to deal with.
Yeah.
Not a musician that's hard to deal with.
He must.
Allegedly,
where are we here?
Allegedly, before we move on, I have to say there's supposedly demos of an album that Miles Davis and Prince made together, like a collabo album.
I could see that
exists. And I guess it was never released. I need to do more research and just see if that's one of those rock
that seems like a
urban
pretty
legends. Because you'd think that would leak by now.
Yeah.
But
that seems
on point.
Yeah, that seems like it would
a
be
natural collaboration.
Absolutely.
I bet it's unlistenable.
I don't know. Maybe not.
It's just dead air.
No, it's just like a mishmash. It's just like when Aaron,
like Prince's weird funk Miles Davis.
It's like when I made that peach cobbler in the Dutch oven on a camping trip, and Aaron took a spoon and stirred it up. It's like that.
I don't remember that.
You weren't. It was the river trip. Yeah,
he was
there.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that event.
I made a peach
Caleb
cobbler in a
was so
Dutch
mad.
oven.
Why did you do that?
Oh,
I didn't. I thought that's
the concept of a cobbler.
No. You have to cobble it up.
Yeah. Let
beautiful.
me set this
I
up.
put a
Provide
lot
some
of
quick
work into
context.
this.
It was my bachelor party. The bachelor party was a camping trip and a float trip.
Yeah.
And
Ryan went. It's the one where I yelled at Ryan about. Ryan will never canoe
Ryan's
again.
first and only float trip.
I messed it up. I fucked up.
It's not your fault. I mean, I was mad at the
I
time.
could see Caleb being a dickhead.
I was
trip.
I was being a dickhead.
We've covered it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Caleb made this cobbler in
a Dutch oven.
In a Dutch oven over the campfire. And I don't know why I thought it was like there are dishes like that where you make a thing and you mix it up, and I just thought
what you're supposed to do.
I just thought you stirred it up and served it.
It had a beautiful cake crust on the top, and you're supposed to just scoop out some, scoop it out. Aaron took the spoon and just started stirring the whole thing up. It'd be like
after it was done.
Like
it was complete.
Done.
We were ready to eat it, and then I just
yeah. I said, you just scoop some out, and he stirred it out, and I said, or you could just do that. It'd be like getting a birthday cake and like sticking a spoon in it and stirring the cake around.
It's like the way a 1-year-old treats their birthday cake.
I have a friend that been friends with him for 30 plus years, right? Best friend. Every time I give him like we have this thing we call Grease Night, where we get together once a month and like watch greasy movies and eat garbage foods. It's like a cheat day.
Fun.
Yeah.
And we play video games and stuff like that. So every time that I go there, though, he opens, like Oreos have those resealable tops. He opens it from the side like a savage. And like he's a skinny little dude, and he's just like, oh, let me open these Oreos. That's exactly what that feels like. It's like, bro, it's got a resealable top.
Well, it's like admitting you're going to eat the whole thing.
Yeah,
So every time that I go there now, I go and I open those up first. His wife laughs too, because whenever she sees him do it, she's like, he does that here too. It's like he gets a bottle of pills and just.
There's one of the YouTube like movie reviewers I follow is Popcorn in Bed, and it's her and her sister sometimes, and like she will instead of opening like a treat bag like you would, like you pull it from the front and back so you open it up like a normal person, she rips it open down the side like that, like
yeah.
And I'm like.
Yeah,
they are perforate, or they do have those like triangular tops, so you can do it.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe that's the whole point. They want your choice of how you engage with their packaging.
the best thing to do is destroy the entire package.
so it will definitely go.
And the cobbler.
I like a guy who opens his snack bag by lighting it on fire.
Puts it in the microwave so it shrinks.
All right, hey, we're gonna get through this episode. I promise. I'm trying to think where we were. Okay,
Probe
the probe was opening.
Oh, yeah,
It's
right.
a signal. It is. We've validated. It is a signal device. The ship closes, and Optimus Primal's body materializes and just starts blasting Predacon pelts. And he's feeling great, like he just snorted an 8-ball of liquid IV. Megatron gives up the caper. The probe is yours, Maximals, but he offers up a warning, a strange warning that it feels like he would have no context to give. He says, not all aliens are beneficent, which is a word I had to look up. I mean, it meant what I thought it meant, but I'd never heard it before. So he's saying, you know, what you ask for or what you're trying to get here may not be the best thing for you, and maybe these aliens aren't good guys. Why are you after it then? Yeah, it doesn't really matter because the aliens leave.
Yeah, maybe it'll come back later.
Nah.
I will say I agree. We should, like I've said this so many times, but like, yeah, don't try to talk to aliens. It's never going to be good for us.
Watch the read the 3-body problem. It's a great book series about why it's not good to do that.
Nope.
Well, what if they just show up?
Well, then
Crash the party.
At least we didn't preemptively try to get it here.
That's not on us. Not on us.
Summarize the 3-body problem in 5 words.
There are 3 bodies. Problem.
Aliens contacted. They are coming.
Okay.
Talk to aliens is bad.
Yeah.
We transition, I think, back to the Axelon, right? Primal commends Rattrap for his leadership qualities, but what about the probe?
We don't go back to the Axelon.
Oh.
But it's just at the Stones.
Okay, we're at the Stones.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter. Primal commends Rattrap for his leadership qualities, but what about the probe? It disappeared. What was that all about?
What was that about?
The aliens now know that these beast formers have violent capability and reasoning powers, but why would they even want to know this? Will the Maximals ever discover the answer?
It would be wild if no. Like they just left it.
So that is it for this bitch.
All right.
Well, that's
Now
just
what?
Prime. He
Now
didn't
what
say
happened?
that.
Now what do we do?
Now
Voice
what do we
actors?
do? I'm lost. You know, there's no new voice actors for this show. I didn't do any research to back up this spaceship because I just wanted to. I feel like it's going to play out.
Yeah, you should not look it up.
And I mean, I think I am aware of very superficially what some things that are going to happen with that. But so why don't we just jump in the real world?
Yeah.
All right.
Give us the real world, Ryan.
Hey, yo. Real World. Chain of Command aired September 24th, 1996. We were freshly graduated.
Oh, well, I'm in college.
Right, because it
Yes.
starts.
My jaw's wired shut. I'm in
I
college.
remember that, where you had to drink smoothies for like
Yeah,
Mashed potato and roast beef smoothies and
I
teachers
Didn't
calling
you
on
lose
you in
like
class.
20 pounds or something?
it was everything I could do to hang on to weighing 125 pounds.
Oh, those were the days.
Yeah, I wish I could do that all over again. I should get my jaw wired shut.
I was in 9th grade and buying kids older than me cigarettes.
Nice, because you looked older. You had the hair.
Full beard.
What
Yeah.
was the upcharge on that? What was your take?
Ridiculous is what that was, because I think they would give me like $20 to $50, and I give them like
Really?
2 packs. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Oh, awesome! Good for
That
you.
is a good grift.
Good scam.
Yeah, it was the grift because
Even nowadays, that would be good.
I hate these kids. Like I hate them.
Smoke until you die, fucker.
But I was like, oh, how old would you be then? 14, 15, and I had a full beard.
Nice.
I was at least 280.
Yeah.
With 6'4", you know, like
Full beard, full bush.
It was
nice.
it was we were kind of we had already phased out of the time where like apparently I think we were already too old too when like you could just send your kid to the store to get cigarettes.
Andy would do that. My wife,
Yeah.
My wife's stepmom would send my wife down to the store to buy cigarettes. She did that. But
I
she
guess
was
if the
clearly
store people know you.
She was clearly. I mean, she was way underage.
Yeah.
And it just But by this point, you couldn't do that no more.
yeah.
Well, you could take a shot at it. You had about a 40% shot at any convenience store. I think
When I was
at
like
getting
10,
cigarettes underage.
I could just take quarters to the laundromat and buy cigarettes if I wanted to.
Oh yeah,
With one of
the
those
The
Full
machines. Yeah. Oh, those were the good old days.
I had a hookup. I smoked in high school, and there was a girl. I don't remember her name. Some random girl. The gas station I would go to that was within about 10-minute walking distance from my house had a little restaurant connected to it, but it was a restaurant where you would order at a counter and get your food. And a girl that was always working there that worked the counter, I would just go up to her and ask her to do it, and she would buy. She would go buy them for me and my little pals.
Was it the Solo down at Main Street in 14?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there was a little shack of a restaurant
That's
that was connected
That's a
to
Chinese restaurant now.
So yeah, but
Cool.
you work the system, man.
You do what you got to do.
You do what you got to do. Get that nick.
Ryan,
Sorry,
Ryan, did you smoke cigarettes in high school?
No, I didn't smoke until I was in my early 20s.
Okay, gotcha.
When I started working at well, I was already working at a restaurant, but I started when I was 15 working at a restaurant. But for some reason I started smoking when I was like 20.
Well, good for you.
Because I was living with smokers, I think why.
Yeah. Well, so September.
Good for you.
September 96.
Yep, September 24th, 1996, in the American Top 40. We're sliding back a little bit in the summer months for this number one before the reign of the Macarena. Number one for 1 week in July was You're Making Me High / Let It Flow by Toni Braxton.
Oh, that's one of my
hot.
top 10
Aaron
sex jams.
loves
If not
Toni
number
Braxton.
one. I love that
Aaron
fucking song.
loved
And that
Toni
music
Braxton.
video and Toni Braxton in the cat suit. I
Yeah.
could go on for
Yeah,
many
he
hours.
loved
It's
her.
also funny. Like, the concept is cool. And I'm guessing you're going to
maybe
talk
I'll
about
talk
the
about
concept,
it.
so I'll let you get into it.
These songs were released as a double A-side, both collabs with producer Babyface. Let It Flow was a hit from the 1995 film Waiting to Exhale. So this was Toni Braxton's first number one single on both the Billboard Hot 100 and the Hot R&B / hip-hop songs charts. There were a crazy amount of remixes for this song. One by David Morales with re-recorded vocals hit the top of the dance songs chart, and another remix featuring rapper Foxy Brown called the Groove Mix was released for urban markets. That means black. Finally, there was a dancehall mix recorded featuring Jamaican DJ Mad Cobra. Not to mention, it was sampled on Method Man and Redman's 2001 song Part 2, and DJ Second City sampled the bridge for his song I Wanna Feel.
There it is. There's the shot
Oh,
right
my
there.
God. Toni Braxton was so fucking
She's
hot.
I'm sure she's still very attractive.
Wow, I mean...
That was the thing.
You're Making Me High won Braxton her third Grammy for Best Female R&B Vocal Performance in 1997, and I did have here about the music video because it's fucking awesome.
It is.
It's Braxton, Erica Alexander, Vivica A. Fox, and Tisha Campbell.
All
and
the hot girls of the time.
Oh, yeah. And they're looking super hot in a luxury apartment that has an elevator that keeps delivering men to them for some reason. Who they rate
And they're rating them with giant
playing cards.
It's really strange. Yeah, a hot guy will come up and they'll be like, 10, and then they'll fan themselves off because he's
For
so
some
hot.
reason-
But then a white nerd in a cowboy outfit or something will show up, and they'll be like 2, and it's like, how did that guy even get an invite to the elevator?
You know what's weird is like that. I guess that was part of my upgrade in Vegas. That kept happening to me at the Virgin.
Did
Guys
they have the
Virgin
giant
up?
cards in the room for you to rate the guys
Yeah.
coming up?
Yeah, I did it.
Of course you did.
I
You got
mean,
it.
yeah.
I think there's also a bathtub filled with cotton candy. or
Yeah, it would
something.
transition between her and her friends demoralizing guys in her apartment and her making out with one like her fantasy of her
Guy,
making
yeah.
out with one of the guys that comes up in like a cotton candy bathtub scene.
Yeah.
And
It's great
that
music.
was because I've done more also research on this video in the past. That was her real life lover at the time. And I think he was a producer as well. I can't remember.
I have nothing to say to this. I don't know this.
You've got to go see you've got to go watch the
This
video.
video
I'm sure it'll be on the
was
site.
formative in
It's
my,
great.
It's-
in my
yeah.
awakening.
Sorry. Sorry, that just
TMI.
made me think of like remember that whenever you could call up a phone number and request a music video to play on that one channel
Yeah.
on
Box.
TV.
The box.
Yeah, the box.
$2.
And like Carmen Electra's video was on there all the time.
Easy E's Real Compton City G's was
Yeah.
on there. Smells
Chronic.
Like Nirvana by
Nothing
Weird
But a G
Al.
thing was on there quite a bit.
Like nonstop. Primus
Yeah.
is Mr. Crinkle was on there. It was just like
The 90s were an interesting
Remember
time.
Green Jello that had the animated
Little Pig,
yeah.
Little Pig.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that video was on there all the time.
Tool came out of that band.
Oh, did they
Like
really?
Maynard Keenan was part of the Green Jelly
I
scene.
had no
So
idea.
I have a weird
the
thing.
Green Jello scene.
Yeah.
I actually my band opened for them.
Really?
Yeah.
Were they called Green Jelly at the time?
Oh, they still around.
Yeah. No. It was like a few years ago. But their like drummer died the day before.
Oh.
So we ended up having to headline the show.
Oh wow.
Oh,
It was
my.
like, hey, they're not going to be here, and no one really cared. They were just there to drink and watch
that's
metal.
that's good for you. I guess I forgot that you were in a metal band.
Yeah, it was weird.
Nice.
I did stuff.
Cool. Cool.
Number one at the box office.
Oh, we're done with Toni Braxton. Let's
What
keep
else?
talking
I
about
mean,
it.
No,
yeah,
we're done.
That's it.
Yeah, let's move on. We need
Fine.
Number one at the box
Sorry.
office. We talked about The First Wives Club, which is the true number one this week. So today, let's talk about a movie I love and was a touchstone for baby goths everywhere in 1996. The Craft.
Oh yeah.
You say that like you don't like that movie.
No, I'm saying I do like it. I'm saying, oh yeah.
Light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Oh yeah, I love that movie.
Number one for 1 week in May of 1996, The Craft is a not a team, well, it is a teen supernatural horror film directed by Andrew Fleming, probably his best-known film, if you look him up. It stars Robin Tunney, Fariza Balk, Nev Campbell, and Rachel True.
I love Fariza Balk. She's so hot.
It's just a horror.
Now it's Caleb's time to perv out.
I guess so. I mean, I go
APD
for.
simps.
I like her. I like her too. But I mean, I was always like, a Rachel True fan.
Team Fariza.
The last three are outcast teenage girls going to Los Angeles parochial high school and truly come into their witchcraft powers when Sarah Bailey, played by Toni, moves to town. The foursome coven, now complete with their air, water, earth, fire circle. The girls go on to cast spells for their own personal gain and experience negative repercussions. Power corrupts, in case you hadn't heard. The film
What
did-
about absolute power?
I don't think there's any saying about that.
That's why it's witchcraft, because it didn't have the heart ring.
That's right.
Sorry, I referenced Captain Planet
The
again.
power's in you, man. The film did quite well, becoming a sleeper hit and grossing $55.6 million on a $15 million budget. According to Box Office Mojo, The Craft is the 11th highest grossing film since 1980 dealing with the genre of witches, which is really specific.
Yeah, that is 11th. Like you think it would be higher than that.
It received
Practical
mixed
magic beat
reviews.
it out. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I wonder. I didn't even look up what the other 10 are, but that'd be curious.
Yeah.
It received mixed reviews, being compared to the black comedy Heathers, which it's nothing like, really. and just because it's about women, I guess. And it did have some muddling and special effects, but mostly there was praise for the performances of the four leads, which are great. And it does have a 2020 sequel. The less said about it, the better.
What is the concept called where it's like a commentary on how women in movies are portrayed and it's all as connected to men, like
The Bechdel test?
I think that's what it is. Yeah. Does it pass the Bechdel test?
Yeah.
All right.
Like no, it does. It's a good like just a down and dirty, quick and fast. Like basically the idea is there's like 3 rules. I think one of them is like do 2 women speak to each other about something other than men,
right,
in a movie.
They pretty much just took this entire thing, and then Aaron Spelling's like, let's make them good and like
talking about
Alyssa
Charmed?
Milano, yeah, like it's the same. It felt like the same thing. They're like, oh well, they're good witches this time.
I liked Charmed.
A or Z, nothing's wrong with it. But when Charmed came out, I'm like, is this a craft TV show?
That
Well,
was
yeah.
It was big, that was a big trope thing at the time.
When I went to
Witches were big, baby.
We had to be in the office all week, like a couple of weeks ago for, like, they call it Expedia Week. It's stupid. But, like, we have a huge TV that normally shows just weird Expedia-related shit, ads, and Hotel.com ads, and it's silent. But then on a Friday when I was in, they were just showing Charmed. But it was silent, but they didn't have the closed captioning on. So they're like, I'm like, what's the point of this?
Lip read, sir. The weird thing about that movie is, like, have you seen, like, someone did a thing of it, and the girl who played, I can't remember her name, the black actress.
Rachel True.
Yeah, she looks like the same.
Yeah, she
didn't age.
That's
like
that's
at all.
The one I had a crush on.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
Okay.
But no, but people were like, "Is she a witch?" Like,
Oh, I
that's
see.
like,
Yeah. Is she? Yeah, that's what I meant. Is she really a witch?
Is that real?
You're good.
Did we ever cover the Witches of Eastwick on this show?
I don't think so.
That was a pretty good movie.
Okay, all right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember you were in that movie? That was awesome.
Remember Sabrina the Teenage Witch? Remember that?
I do.
Have you guys Shakespeare, those 3 witches in that one play?
The Weird Sisters.
Yeah, man, that was good.
Okay.
How about it? How about that? Let's see. Not a ton. I didn't really have anything for the next episode of Script Deviations, which is written by the same guy, so I'm going to cover the writer on that one whenever we do Double Jeopardy. Like you said, Aaron, Rhinox's gun is called the Chain Gun of Doom, sometimes the Chain Gun of Command. This is the only other bit I had that is in the Italian cut of this. Rattrap's line, and the Maximals don't have torture chambers. Though, I could get behind the idea. It's changed to, and the Maximals never had torture chambers. I don't know why I put French. I was going to do Italian. And the Maximals have never had a torture chambers. Anyway, I'll just do it normal. So his line is changed to, the Maximals never had torture chambers, though thinking about it, maybe we have them.
So weird. What does that even mean?
Face chopper face.
Scorponok's line, Megatron back, Scorponok alone with Tarantulas and Pterosaur, very bad, is changed to, Megatron is back, but now I can only count on Tarantulas and Pterosaur. And then Tarantulas' line, you and Waspinator were returned to us badly damaged, is changed to, that's true, the boss and Waspinator came back, but they're quite battered, which is probably just a mistranslation in all of that. The narrator
You're
then
gonna make French toast out of them. Batter. Okay, bye.
You nailed it.
Swing.
The narrator says something else. I guess there's a narrator in the Italian version. The narrator says something else which makes little sense. He says, Rattrap doesn't trust Dinobot at all. When Optimus is not around, he's in charge, showing he's full of courage and wisdom, which the former is demonstrably untrue, and the latter is on a case-by-case basis.
I like how they're just explaining the things that the actors are doing, like things that we should get from watching the show.
I feel like that seems big in foreign markets, not even just American ones brought to foreign markets, but like if you watch a lot of anime and stuff, there's always a narrator of some kind.
Well, that's it.
That's it.
That's all you
for
got?
Deviations. I mean, please, if
That's
you
not a critique.
can find scripts for this show, I would love to see them. Like, not the finalized ones, obviously. Anything before that, I just can't find anything.
Well, let's rate the scheme. Alphamagnus, I mean, you're here, so you must think highly of this.
So we have to
particular
talk to you.
episode.
There really isn't a scheme.
It's reacting to happenstance.
Yeah, I will say that everybody does like
Maybe
at
rate
least,
the plot.
They
How
at
about
least
that?
have plans. Everyone has plans when things happen. You know, Optimus dies, Megatron goes and attacks them, and then they're like, "Hey, we need to figure out who's the leader." They do stuff. Things are done with ABCs really quick. The plot, it's like I love this plot, but it also then just the aliens leave. I'm going to give it like a 8.
It's a big setup.
It's a
plot,
tease.
basically.
Yeah. It's an 8. Things happen. Leaves questions.
I like
It's an
alien
appetizer. This is an appetizer for the rest of the show. So.
Yeah.
An amuse-bouche.
I like anything that has to do with otherworldly life visiting Earth.
I mean, they
or-
literally
or,
are aliens. So
Yeah, I
don't
think that's the fun
aliens
thing
should
is
be...
it's aliens upon aliens.
No, I hear you, but I just like whenever that mystery of other
Yeah, I'm
life
agreeing with
is-
you.
is touching on it. But so this is the first episode that I've liked
Okay.
so far.
Get ready to not like the next one.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why I didn't pick the next one, because my least favorite character, and not because of his character, because he's essentially just Starscream, but Pterosaur is a terrible voice to hear. Like,
Constantly?
if you thought that Starscream was bad, holy crap. Pterosaur is... Ugh. I don't know how that guy can speak.
Then is there an okay, we can
I just put finding out the standing stones as one big device, and it does seem like this is a setup episode for something more.
Yeah. I love the quintessons, just the whole idea that there's an external intelligent force that's maybe pulling some strings that we don't quite know about yet. I guess it's not an iconic moment, but just the revealing that is a thing in this universe is pretty cool.
I mean, I'm not. It's not a cop out. I agree with Ryan. I like that. I like it when the probe gets shot out of the standing stones with the lentils and goes into space, and it's like, what the fuck was that? And it's
I want
like,
to say lentils.
yeah, and it's like, okay, there's a bigger thing at play here, and I'm excited to see what that turns out to be.
I'm mental for lentils. Mine was the utter failure of democracy.
It was pretty silly.
Yeah.
That was so funny. You're right. It could have they should have been a round robin Rochambeau.
Like literally, that was my early teachings of like, oh, it's the either a turd sandwich or a giant douche. Like
Maybe
those
if
are the
they'd
things
had
we
an
did vote for.
electoral college, this problem
Yeah.
could have been avoided.
Maybe
Where
we should
votes
have
don't
someone
matter.
grab all the votes and then count each state as some weird number that's
Yeah.
arbitrary.
I'm glad that thing's still around.
Yeah,
You know, if there is a visual iconic moment, this just came to me. That chain gun scene.
yeah, that
It's
chain
pretty
gun
great.
was
I like also where you get to see from
That's a
Waspinator's
good one.
perspective where
Yeah.
it's just jiggling all around.
Yeah, that was good. You're right. Totally good.
Next time. Nope. God damn it. Next time on the Autopod Decepticast. Yes.
You can't be tried for the same crime twice. That's double jeopardy.
That was a terrible movie.
Unless, of course, we're talking about, being tried by the state and then civilly.
Yeah, it doesn't work at all like that.
So, Alphamagnus, thank you for joining us on this actual good episode of Beast Wars. What would you like to plug before you get out of here?
Keep an eye out for my Patreon. I'm going to be uploading a bunch of 3D prints for that, so it's patreon.com/Alphamagnus. I need money, and because I'm no longer employed by anyone, so please give me your money.
Anyone.
You'll get there. Yes.
And then
This is an opportunity.
I will also be doing a Kickstarter, so keep an eye out for that. I have not named anything yet, so sorry. I can't give you anything on that. But hopefully by TFCon Toronto will be good. And then by this, I think I'll already have been at Rathacon. That is with G Kit from your guys' Patreon. So we're going to be
I believe
chilling
he
down
goes
in
by
Athens,
other names
Ohio.
there, but yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what his.
He got the Knight Rider car, baby.
Yeah, he's got the Knight Rider. But yeah, we're going to be down there. They're doing a whole Doctor Who thing. So yes.
And you have a YouTube.
Yeah,
I
plug
do.
your shit.
Yeah, I've actually been pushing my YouTube lately. Sorry about. Thank you, Ryan. It's Alphamagnus Creations because some jerk took Alphamagnus like 15 years ago. I've had this name forever, but for some reason I didn't grab that. When I went to go do it, I'm like, who is this guy? It's like some guy in the military. So I followed him just to see that. And I report him every once in a while. He literally doesn't do anything. Like he liked something 17 years ago. Like, come on, give me my name.
It's neither here nor there, but I've been distracted this whole time by the fact your headphones have these two like red things and look like horns that come out of them.
I'm gonna be putting devil horns on these.
Perfect.
Yeah, because it broke here, so I had to put like a metal piece. But I'm like, oh, it'd be cool to do that because I plan on doing like Twitch streaming and stuff. So it's just fun because
that's cool. That's cool.
That's what I put them on there for. I'm like, oh, this will be great. These giant they're the ones from Legend.
Oh, those are
nice.
Huge Tim Curry. Huge
And
Tim
it'll be
Curry.
hilarious to see it on just a normal human face. You got the Instagram,
What are your
Facebook?
handles?
Yeah, everything.
Twitter.
If you just Linktree Alphamagnus, there's 400 things there, including this episode when it airs.
Oh, we're not allowing permissions for that. In fact, take down all the other ones.
Cut his mic.
It's literally the link to your guys' stuff.
Thank you again for being on. If you, the listener, would like to support the show, the simplest way is to give us a review. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, sub on YouTube, Patreon. Join it. Hang out there. There's several levels of support. Booty box at the $5 level. Patreon.com/APODcast. We have merch at our store. We'll get the new stuff up.
Yeah.
I was
going to say, I got some merch right behind me.
Yep,
oh, I see it.
Yeah, I got I'm missing the Starscream one. That's the only one I don't have. Also, I wanted to say refreshing and bingo.
Oh,
you got it. You got it.
As far as we know, you're the first
one to do the bingo card.
I feel like you have a competitive advantage somehow. But
you might have also. Well, it was funny because all of a sudden, I don't remember if you said it when you were drinking. I'm like, damn it, did they say refreshing?
I didn't.
Oh yeah, Caleb didn't say it,
didn't
so
say it.
I feel like maybe you haven't finished the bingo card.
Well, he said the word, so he cheated.
Well, because there's everything else on that bottom line, and then when Caleb mentioned the
you know
Weird
what?
Al, I was like, yes.
You know what? That drink was not refreshing.
Oh, you're hosed.
No, I still said it was I still said refreshing.
The word refreshing.
I know. But still, that's cool that you were keeping
Because
track.
Jim Jones really wasn't a serial killer either.
Speaking of refreshing, you can buy us a drink.
Yes, you could if you'd
Cutting
like.
off the Jim Jones reference.
If you'd like to buy us a drink, send us $5 too at APODcast on PayPal. Put in the notes what you would like me to make, and I will make it on a future episode because I can't make it on a past one.
At
Money, buy us a drink. Buy us a drink.
Connect with us at APODcast, Twitter, Facebook, Threads, Instagram, and if you become a patron at any level, you'll be able to join the notorious APDC Discord. Put shit on the website.
Yep.
All the dumb shit
There's
we
going to
talked
be a
about.
bunch of videos
There
on
better be
this
a
week.
goddamn Toni Braxton video up there.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you're making me high.
So that's all, everybody. Great episode.
See you
Have
guys.
yourself a fantastic week. Bye, Alphamagnus.
Bye.
Bye forever.
That's it.
Cells is the sponsor of Autopod Decepticast. Yes.